Oh boy.
What's up, everybody? Remember when we just signed Jesse Ylonen and I said that's likely the Habs' last move of summer? No, it's not. Like, what the frick? I am so unprepared for this show, Shane. All I know is that you're here and you're going to tell me what just happened because I still have no freaking clue.
Boy. Yeah. It's a doozy, man. It's a doozy.
All right. We do have a graphic for the actual deal involving the Canadiens. So welcome back for now, Jeff Petry. Okay, before we continue on with the show, and welcome everybody, by the way. Yoel Armia, that's the last piece of the Bergevin era that's going to be departed with after, Anyway, let me pull up all these former pictures from behind this wall here, which are mostly former players now, if not all of them. And Jeff Petry, folks, I'm going to peel back the layers literally on Jeff Petry and temporarily welcome back Jeff Petry to the Montreal Canadiens. Oh my gosh, dude. Like, I had no freaking clue. I'm getting messages from you and Anik, who would have been here if she could. She couldn't make it, but I'm getting messages from you guys. And then, like, all this is going down. We got Erik Karlsson going to the Pittsburgh Penguins. Kyle Dubas saying a quick hello from Pittsburgh, just doing his thing. We got a three-way trade with the Sharks, Habs, and Pens, dude. Like, where do we begin? Like, where do you want to begin with this? This is a blockbuster, right?
Yeah, for sure. Might as well start with Le Canadiens.
Okay.
What are we getting right out of being this third party help? I'll say, right. We're just there for cap reasons, basically. Yeah, we're getting the El Jefe, right? Big Jeff is back. Demon Eyes. We don't know for how long, right? Chances are he's going to be flipped at some point, or he could very well integrate the lineup, play this season, and then I believe he has he has 2 years left on his contract. He's a UFA by the end of 2026. I think it's not unreasonable to think he could be a part of the season as a whole, and then next year get flicked, but can't really tell. And then Casey DeSmith coming on as our third goalie, which is unexpected. I really didn't think that was going to happen, but again, it gives Kent some options in net, right? Do we want to keep Jake Allen? What's up with Caden Primo? It's going to, like, there's more moves to come with the goalie situation. There's no doubt. I don't think they're going to run three goalies. Highly doubt that. And I don't think Casey DeSmith is going to go to Laval either. So he's going to be with the Habs. And who knows what's going to happen with Jake Allen. It's always a possibility he gets flipped before the season, which I'm not a big fan of. I feel like Jake Allen is like the perfect number two. But then again, if you can get something decent in return, then you kind of have to do it. But Montembeault, it's his net, really. And what's funny is Montembeault has the smallest cap hit of the three goalies. He makes $1 million this season, right? And Jake Allen makes 3.8 for the next two. So it's just funny. But yeah, Casey DeSmith comes on at 1.8 million. That's nothing, right? He's a UFA by the end of next season too. So it's not a big commitment. And then Nathan Legare is, a Laval Rocket player, right? He was over a point per game player in juniors, and then in the AHL he's been putting up some average numbers, but hometown boy, 6 foot, 205 pounds, right winger. Can't complain, right? That's fine. And then I think the biggest piece here is the second round pick. I mean, to me, like if you could get a second round pick for Hoffman and Pitlick alone, I'd be thrilled about that. And then we got all the rest on top. Like, that's fantastic work. I cannot complain at all.
This is like, I don't know. Like I still don't know. I'm still figuring out, but I still think that we got to celebrate a little bit. Love to Mike Hoffman. This is not personal. Maybe a little. No, I'm kidding. It's not. It's not personal to Mike Hoffman at all. The guy scores goals. He's one-dimensional. He's later in his career. He's off to the San Jose Sharks. But happy Mike Hoffman departure day, everybody. And it's for the best. It's for the best. And I did not think that he was going to be gone before the start of next season. I can tell you right now. So I am very happy the fact that we're going to be opening spots to younger players. So what I want to do, Shaner, is I want to pull up the tweet from Erik Engels, which is actually very, very nice in terms of describing, in Erik's words, why the Canadiens made this deal. And I'm going to try to actually get Erik on the show here as well, which I thought he was on summer vacation. I messaged him, and I figured he was just, now he's, chiming in to do his thing. But we'll see what we can do. But in the meantime, I want to bring up his tweet. Erik Engels, very early mentor of mine in my very early beginnings of my broadcasting career, pursuit here before the channel even got going. So shout out to Erik. So I want to bring up the tweet here, and I want to share it with our audience. And here it is. So let's just go ahead and read it, Shaner. So there is no salary being retained by Montreal on either Pitlick or Hoffman, which is great news for the Canadiens.
Yep.
So that we needed that, or this deal wasn't going to happen. The Canadiens initially traded Petry in July of 2022 without retaining salary, along with Poehling for Matheson and a fourth. They're getting him back at $4.69 million, 25% retained by Pittsburgh, along with the second round pick that we just talked about in 2025. DeSmith and prospect Nathan Legare. Petry's $3 million bonus for this coming season has already been paid. There's a strong chance that the Canadiens will trade Petry. If not before the start of the season, then by the trade deadline. Believe they're already working on it, Shaner, for a flip, which is what has been shared on Twitter pretty quickly after this deal was announced. Not retaining salary on Hoffman or Pitlick was key for Montreal in this. They have open retention spots, and retaining 50% of Petry's contract turns Petry into a $2.34 million cap hit this season and next, and that could open up a wider market for his services. He has a 15-team no-trade list and will have to consider being flexible with it if he really doesn't wish to return to Montreal. But Montreal was not on his no-trade list, which is interesting. It was all about the COVID restrictions as to why the Petry family wanted out. So we all know that. And it wasn't that he didn't want to be a Montreal Canadian anymore, but it was also a perfect storm in terms of us getting Mike Matheson. So thank you, Jeff, by the way. So thank you very much for doing that for us. Okay. As of right now, he's a Canadian. And if he remains a Canadian, when the season starts, he still improves the right side D. And I think that's how the Canadians see it. So maybe if Logan Mailloux doesn't make the team out of camp, you throw Petry on the right side. Kovacevic maybe loses a spot. I don't know. I still don't think Petry's going to be there most likely. But DeSmith comes in as a security at a position of need, with Primo having to go through waivers if he doesn't make the Canadiens out of camp. That's huge news, Shaner. Either way, his addition creates flexibility for the Canadiens. Maybe it opens them up, like as you alluded to, an Allen trade down the line, especially if Primo unseats him at camp. Bottom line, if they lose a goalie, they have another one with NHL experience in the fold now. It's also a possibility, and not necessarily a likelihood, but certainly a possibility they'll carry 3 goaltenders on the roster to start the season. As for moving Pitlick and Hoffman out, Pitlick was open to another opportunity after the way his season went down, and Hoffman had to go. Amen to that. God love the guy. Somebody's got to love him. I keep saying that. And now he's gone. It's good news. The Canadiens have freed up space for young players up front.
There you go.
All right. That was the whole thing. It was a big one. I still had it. Did I have Hoffman departure day up the whole time? I'm so sorry. Well, I mean, that is kind of big news. I'm not trying to, anyway, I probably sound like a jerk regardless, but I'm not trying to. I can't be perfect, but I just think that this is exciting in terms of opening up another big forward spot that Hoffman was likely going to fill for this young group that's coming in. It just opens up more and more opportunity for the young guys. So do you think, I'm just going to ask you this, with this kind of trade, with Hoffman going out specifically from the top 9 or top 12, because he could have been on the 4th line. A lot of people either had him in the 4th line or not even in the lineup. I think it was Arpin Basu who tweeted out his lineup, and for next season, Hoffman wasn't even on it, and neither was Christian Dvorak. So who do you think could make the Canadiens as a surprise out of camp with a spot like Hoffman's opening up here?
Yeah. Well, in my mock lineup that I made just for fun, I had Jesse Alonen making the team right out of camp.
Okay.
I think he's ready to make that jump full time. I think he'll get some good opportunities better than if Hoffman was still there. So I think he's that guy that takes that spot. I think David Pinard has his spot already on the team. Like he shouldn't be a surprise. Yeah, I think he's a lock.
Agreed.
And then you have guys like Sean Farrell. I think Sean Farrell will start the season in Laval, but again, not having Hoffman or Pitlick allows him an easier way up towards the Habs. But quickly on Pitlick though, all the best to him first and foremost. He was, one of the most fantastic waiver pickups in recent memory. Not quite up there with Paul Byron though, but
yeah,
pretty close. Turning him and Hoffman into a second DeSmith, Legare, that's a solid haul. So thank you, and good luck in Pittsburgh, my friend. We'll take care of your brother. We still have Rhett, so
yeah.
Hopefully he pans out.
That's his cousin, right?
His cousin was Tyler.
Okay, so Rhett is his brother.
Rem and Rhett are brothers, and then
That's
Tyler
it.
Pitlick is the cousin.
We have
St.
not
Louis
fully
now,
escaped the Pitlicks because it's fun to say their name for only that reason.
Yeah, and that's it. Yeah.
So is Ylonen the only? I mean, Ylonen does make sense now that they re-signed him. It is a two-way deal for Ylonen, but and I want to talk about more about this trade in a second with Erik Karlsson going to Pittsburgh and giving Sid and Gino another shot at their fourth cup with this with Sid's career winding down. We're going to get to that in a second also. I just think there's more moving parts to talk about. This is just a huge trade. So, but other than Ylonen, do you think there's anybody else? Like, say, I think it's too early for Machar, right? Unless he just has an explosive camp. I don't see it right now. I think guys like him and Joshua Waugh. I'm trying to think of the forward group in terms of who's going to be making the jump to Laval this year, other than those two. Those are two big names. Sean Farrell, like we mentioned, but I don't think Ylonen makes sense as a fourth line guy at the very, very least, I would say. Owen Beck's probably not ready to make the jump to Canadiens yet either. So I would say
no.
But
that's it.
Can I ask you about
Ylonen on the fourth? But another guy that could be interesting is Emil Heineman. He had
another one.
Like 7 goals in 11 games in Laval last year. I think he'll start the season in Laval, but he's another one that could be a call up at one point if he shows up. And then, even though he's a center, but Elias Anderson is a summer acquisition that hasn't been talked a lot yet. I think he's a lock for first line center in Laval. Actually very high possibility of seeing him in a Habs uniform at some point this season. Again, with 2 forwards gone, that leaves him an easier route to the team.
Yeah. His experience is Elias Anderson. Can you just remind me of where he's at in his development? Yeah,
well, fringe NHL player, I'd say, right? He was highly touted. I think he was selected 7th overall by New York, by Jeff Gorton and Nick Bobrov. But interesting. He was traded to LA, and then he played in the AHL team there in Ontario, the Ontario Reign, and he had a tremendous season. Like, he was excellent. So I think starting the season off, no pressure in Laval, first line center, and then possibility of moving up and then solidifying himself as the NHL player he was meant to be. I think that's what we're looking at here. Best case scenario.
Interesting you mentioned the LA Reign, because a friend of mine, Akil Thomas of the LA Reign, is actually going to be coming on the show hopefully this week. I've been telling viewers that I'm trying to bring him on, so I'll ask him about Anderson as well. Akil also got to play with Nate Thompson before the end of his career, which is really pretty fun. So I want to talk a little bit more about Erik Karlsson, the big fish, going to Pittsburgh after winning the I almost called it the Calder. No, it's not. I am
Norris.
trying to Norris. Thank you. Oh my gosh, that's what we used to call Jeff. Remember we called Petry Jeff Norris Petry for the lockout season or the lockout
that season. He was insane. He was insane. Yeah.
So let's talk about this deal. We don't get to talk about other players of other teams a whole lot on this channel, but today's a fun day. The Canadiens are part of this big 3-way trade. So we got Erik Karlsson, who just in the latter part of his career here, starting the back 9, he's already in the back 9 of his career. And the Pittsburgh Penguins retain $1.56 million for the next 2 seasons on the cap. But now that you put Erik Karlsson onto the decor of the Pittsburgh Penguins, $10 million is the cap hit now for the next 1, 2, 3, 4 seasons for the Pittsburgh Penguins. So it's a huge deal for the Pittsburgh Penguins. It's a huge first move for Kyle Dubas as president of hockey ops for the Pittsburgh Penguins, assuming he was part of this acquisition with the Penguins here. So What do you make of this this move for big Erik Karlsson, one of the greatest defensemen of all time? I think he's a first ballot Hall of Famer by the end of his career. And
yeah.
That's a huge upgrade from Petry and Matheson over the last couple of years, bringing in him and like Letang's not even out of the picture yet still. So
that's it. No,
it's a good piece, man.
It's impressive. It's impressive. And you know, we'll touch on what San Jose got in return, but Karlsson to Pittsburgh to me, it's Kyle Dubas going all in on the core that they have right now, right? Saying to Crosby, to Malkin and Letang that, all right, like, we're going to give you the pieces to go for another run, right? Before it's too late. And I respect that. I like that. You know, it's commitment. That's what Boston did last year, right? With Bergeron's last year. They went all in at the trade deadline, gave everything they had. They had the team to go far. It just, you know, didn't happen.
Best regular season team in history now.
But exactly. And then
that's not everything, unfortunately.
Flubbed in the first round. Love to see it. But again, I'm biased.
We're not complaining.
But. But with Pittsburgh, I mean, do I think they're a Stanley Cup caliber team? Probably not. Tristan Jarry is a bit too shaky for me. I don't like their forward depth, but top heavy. I mean, Jesus, you have Crosby, Malkin, Gensel, Rust, Ricard Raquel, Riley Smith at forward. Decent group, but then as you peel back the layers, the bottom six is a bit iffy. And then on defense, right, Erik Karlsson and Chris Letang together is nuts. Ryan Graves is his new acquisition, also really good.
I liked him for a while too. My buddy was getting me on. Yeah, so he's young. Graves is young and a steady big defenseman too.
Yeah, Marcus Pettersson, Pierre-Olivier Joseph, really underrated defenseman. So they're looking good. Like, I think they're a lock for playoffs in the Metro. I do think they're better than the Islanders, the Capitals. I mean, obviously better than Columbus and Philly. Don't quite think they're there on New York and Carolina and New Jersey. I think those three are like in a class above. But I think Pittsburgh will do some damage this season. Now, the issue is further down the line, right? In a few years from now, when the Crosbys, Malkin, Letang, they start to knock off, they start to retire, this team has nothing. They have nothing. Like, their best prospect is Owen Pickering or Braden Yeager, right? You can't build a franchise around those guys. They're good players, but the future in Pittsburgh is short term, right? It's very, very short term. Like, they have I'm going to be honest, they have a 2-year window here. 2-year window. If they don't accomplish anything there, it's over. It's over. Forget
last
about
kick at the can for one of the greatest of all time in Sid Crosby, but pretty exciting to see two superstars come together from the front and back end, and Crosby, Malkin, and then Karlsson on the back end. Like, it just seems like it'll be a fun couple years to watch Pittsburgh. Yeah, but then after that, who knows? Sid last season, before the start of last season, said he's got 3 years left, including last season. So he's got at least 2 left, and then may retire from there. So pretty crazy though, man. I'm just going to pull up the full trade actually again from Frank Saravalli just regarding this entire massive deal from today, because again, this is a blockbuster and it's a big one. It's just a big one. So this is the full trade. Once again, Erik Karlsson, San Jose 2026 3rd-round pick, Dylan Hameliuk and Rem Pitlick go to the Pittsburgh Penguins. The Habs acquire again Jeff Petry, Casey DeSmith, Nathan Legare, Pittsburgh's 2025 2nd-round pick, and then to San Jose, Shaner, Pittsburgh's 2024 1st-round pick, Mikael Granlund, Mike Hoffman, and Jan Ruta. So players that are veterans, most of them, if not all of them, except for obviously the 2024 1st-round pick, Shaner. So what do you think? How did San Jose do here, in your opinion?
Oh boy, I'm gonna be harsh here. Okay, I'm sorry, Mr. Greer. We haven't seen enough yet to judge his competency as a GM, but this trade is rough. It's rough. Okay. you just traded 100-point defenseman, the reigning Norris winner, for a first and some vets for a young rebuilding team, or a team that should be rebuilding, excuse me, because they're not committed yet, clearly. I'm confused, man. I'm confused. I understand that Karlsson's contract is, is going to hinder his value, his trade value in a sense. But I really thought they were going to get more, at least like a B, A level prospect on top of a first and multiple other picks. Just 1 first and 3 vets is not good. Okay. Mikael Granlund is a fine hockey player, nothing against him, but he doesn't fit the timeline, right? Mike Hoffman doesn't fit the timeline whatsoever. Jan Ruda's fine, but I really don't understand this trade from San Jose's point of view. Like, they have to commit to the rebuild at this point. They're not going to win anything with the core of Couture and Hertl, and they traded Karlsson now. So there's no chance. Put everything into the future. You got Will Smith, William Eklund, some good prospects in your pool. Build on that, and you'll have a solid team for many, many years. This trade just doesn't work for me. Unless that first round pick that they got turns into a superstar, this is not a good trade for San Jose. And based off what I'm seeing off this Pittsburgh lineup, they're going to finish pretty high. So that pick drops down. I don't know. Not a fan. Let's say if that first round pick was for 2027, then that's interesting because Pittsburgh's not going to be that great by then, but it's for 2024 and they're going to be good this year. So it just doesn't add up for me. I don't get it.
Yeah. It's a lot of it's a lot of moving parts, and maybe the loser in the deal out of the 3 is San Jose from what you're saying. Is that fair?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Like short-term winner, without a doubt, Pittsburgh. Long-term depends, right? If that first round pick pans out, you could argue San Jose if they flip the 3 vets into more draft capital or young players. But short term, for sure, Pittsburgh wins this. But man, I really thought San Jose was going to squeeze out more for Karlsson. If you think about it, Tanner Jeannot got a better return. Like Nashville got a better return for Tanner Jeannot than San Jose got for Erik Karlsson. Make it make sense, Drew. I'm confused.
If you can, I can't, buddy. Like, no, that ain't happening.
I don't get it, man. I really don't.
Erik Karlsson's one of the most fun defensemen to watch, too. Like,
oh my God.
Just loves to jump up in the rush. Like, he's such a fun defenseman to watch. Basically, like, a mature man's Mikhail Makar or something. Like, I don't know how to put it. Like, he outplayed Cale Makar last year, and Karlsson's what? In his early 30s now? Like, is he 29? How old is Karlsson, first of all? Let me get that correct here at least.
I think he's 33, I believe, or something like that.
Okay, so I'm gonna fact check right now and pull it up because I don't want to guess. So I will tell everybody right now, and some of you already know as you're probably typing in the comments. So Erik Karlsson is, oh my gosh, come on. They just had did I pull up the wrong you know what I did? I typed in San Jose. I typed in San Jose on Cap Friendly. I don't know if anyone knows. He ain't there anymore. So Erik Karlsson is 33 years old.
Yeah.
33. I'm going to see if he's turning 34. When's his birthday? I'm pulling it up here. May 31st.
May 31st.
So he's 33, and he's going to remain that way for at least the start of this season. So actually till the end of the season, unless Pittsburgh goes deep on a deep run. But anyway, regardless, Sheener, this trade was crazy. I got to run to work because I had to squeeze this in with you, and I'm glad we got to talk about the whole trade and not just the Montreal side for a change. Everyone knows that this is a Habs-focused show, if you will. But, dude, thank you so much for jumping on. Once again, just to remind everybody that this was the deal, specifically involving the Montreal Canadiens. And Mike Hoffman is gone. Rem Pitlick is gone. Jeff Petry is here, and he's going to be gone again soon. But that's okay because we still love Jeff Petry.
We do.
Because you know why? Jeff Petry, what he did, he helped the Canadiens acquire Mike Matheson and a second-round pick in 2024, basically now for nothing.
Thank you, Ron Hextall.
Thank you, Ronnie. We appreciate your time. We appreciate you. But yeah, thank you all for your time watching. If you stuck to the end, especially, thanks for watching, everybody. Thank you for supporting. Hit like and subscribe. We have no idea. I'm not going to say this is going to be my last video again because look what happened last time. So I'm glad I was wrong. I'm glad I was wrong. But here we are. So thank you all for watching. Check out Shane Gaumont, who just made his debut on the Tony Marinaro podcast. Tony, stop cutting Shane off for the love of God. Tony cuts everybody off. But listen, you guys are watching on the Sick Pod. You know I love you. Let the man talk. He's got a lot to say, this guy right here. Okay, let him talk. That's an endorsement for me. Anyway, he didn't tell me to say that, so Shane's not at fault here. Anyway, okay, Shaner, thank you so much for jumping on last minute here with me, pal.
Yes, sir.
You're always reliable, and I thank you for it, buddy. So thank you all for watching. Hit like and subscribe if you want to support. I appreciate you. I love you. Go Habs, go. Happy Mike Hoffman departure day, everybody. Thanks for watching.